Hello, everybody. I'm very pleased to be there. It's years that I come here and I attend. Some of you already met me there a few years ago talking about Renault Airlink. We now have millions of cars connected on Renault Airlink, but as a whole, what I want to discuss is about digital economy for automotive. I'm very glad from the earlier session I got this morning from Audi, from Skoda, and so on. When I came there the first time, 2008, was really about telematics. It was about connectivity, was about hardware, things, how to make things work. Whereas now I think we entered the area of connected driver. I think telematics is a bit now too old. I really see car makers, vehicle makers focusing on the customer. We heard about PACE, customer-centric, separate product view from service view. That's really a major change, and I'm very happy to see that because I'm convinced that this is the only way for car maker that will have vehicle with more expensive, with more mobility, with less volumes, to find their way with a digital economy, to enter the digital economy and the digital mindset. Oops. So just before that, Atos is a major IT company. We're working a lot in manufacturing and automotive. And if this company is well known, maybe you'll know less Worldline. We are a subsidiary. Worldline is a payment company. People know us for payments. But 1/3 of our activity is less known is about mobility and IoT. So we do connect different objects. We do connect and provide a payment solution and mobility solution for car sharing, bike sharing, speed cams, ticketing system for the public transport. All these things are about mobility, and a bit more than 2 million IoT objects are connected by us in a pay-per-use model. So our core activity is what we call transactional business. Transactional business means for us highly transaction between the end user and back end, or between machine and back end, highly real-time, highly reliable, think about banks and payments, and highly scalable. And this is why we are in the IoT, because any car is a transactional model for us. Now let's start with what I was telling about the digital economy toolbox. Something that strikes me, Roger, I know that you like this kind of stuff. Tesla Net Promoter Score 97%. I never saw in my career for 20 years a company with a so high Net Promoter Score, meaning that there is almost no detractor at the end user. This is, it's voice people that tell to a friend how appealing is the brand. I look at other car makers or vehicle makers, and we don't see them. You can see Google, Apple, Amazon, PlayStation. These companies have a very high NPS. So, do you think it's by case? Of course not. Elon Musk is not doing that by case. If the NPS is so high, it means it's a core strategy for them. And it is a digital mindset. It comes from the payments also industry, from PayPal. He has all the tools, all the mindset coming from the digital economy. He's a GAFA. He's the mindset of GAFA. And what is linked is about everything is linked to the customer. Everything is done, every single action he do or he does is focusing on the benefit of the user. And every action is done is measured, the benefit for the user is measured. And he will learn, and he will learn at a very high pace because he wants to use all digital economy tools to reach this kind of level of satisfaction of the end user. So he's really customer-centric and not product-centric. Many times I heard in the past this well-known sentence from Robert Bosch, whoever stops improving stops being good. That's obvious, but I often ask them to recite this sentence to myself. But now in the digital economy with people like the GAFAs and Atos, what I will say, with all the respect for Robert Bosch, is more whoever improves too slowly stops being good. The pace of learning, the pace of improving is getting even more important than just improving at a normal pace. The counter example I have, it was in an insurance UBI event. There was insurance saying, yeah, UBI, we should go, but... And they gave an example that killed me. It was Nespresso. Fantastic innovation. But do you know how long Nespresso took in R&D to bring that to the market? 21 years. So the insurance were relaxing and saying, oh, we don't go, we have time. You have time if you are not threatening by this kind of economy, of the digital economy. And for the part, for the insurance, but also for car maker, there is a different mindset that is addressing your business and that is focusing on your customer. So it all depends about what you want to have, how you want to react with your customer, what you want to do. Still sell product as usual? Still try to make something, sell your car more, but with mobility sell less car? No. You need to think the same way they are. You need to learn at the same pace they are learning. I'm a product manager in the IoT. So I have roadmaps. Every 6 months we make a release. And often we are good in delivering on time, on budget, with high quality. But do my end customers are really using my services? Achieving failure is successfully executing a bad plan. And really, for me, it's one of my fears. But it's also the fear of many of people. Will this feature will be the new one that will make the difference? So if you invest a lot of money in a plan and plan it like, usually we plan a car for years and we produce a new car, and at the end you don't find your market, then what is the importance of delivering all this quality on time, on budget? So one of the tools of Elon Musk and of the GAFAs is coming from Lean Startup. This morning I heard minimum viable product. And I think it's a keyword, a buzzword that is coming and coming. And that's true. That's really important. It's not about analytically say, I have a 3-year plan. It's about defining a minimum viable product, a baseline. It's about tuning your engine, your growth engine. Is my customer giving me enough confidence with my minimum viable product that I should invest more in this? Can I really? So the minimum viable product is something where you pay to know. You pay to get knowledge about your customer. You pay to see, like a poker, to see what is the game of your end user. Will they adopt the service? And then pivot or persevere. This is very important. You don't have to have a 3-year roadmap or 6 months roadmap if you have not tested before that your customer will really use it. So this is really important to say that with respect to the yearly plan or 3-year plan in the digital economy, the ability to pivot is very key. I give you an example because it's easy to give lessons and show big principle, but I'm really someone that like concrete example. One of my customer is Michelin Solution. A few years ago, we jointly defining a new offer called FE-Fuel. FE-Fuel is a fleet solution for fuel savings. Michelin had the idea that they could do some revenue sharing on fuel savings on big fleets. So if you have a truck running 100,000 kilometers a year, a fleet of 1,000 vehicles, making a 3% revenue sharing on the savings, making the 3% saving and the revenue sharing on top, is a big business, and it didn't exist on the market. So we invested as Worldline on a product to do the fleet analytics, the fuel analytics. Then for 6 months, then 6 additional months, we went and field test with the customer. And at the end, we found that we were wrong. For different reasons, I will give you one after. We didn't find the market. So we spent 1 year of time to find that. It would have been worse. 6 months or 1 year is not so big, depends on the reference you get. But still, it was a failure. So we achieved a failure. So what did we do? We reconsidered the business case, we learned from the end user, and we learned from the customers that with this solution, rather than fuel savings on trucks, it was more asset management for trailers. That was really the services that were expected by the customer. So after 1 year, we pivoted. We decided to launch FE Trailer. And I strongly believe now, with a 6 months view on the volume growth, that Michelin will become the leader for connected trailer on Europe. That's an example of pivoting. So let's consider Tesla is, okay, they have one model car, they will have others, but it's quite simple. For the car or truck maker, you have far more complexity, far more legacy, far more systems. So, of course, how can I move as fast as they are? They are smaller, they have a unique product, they are focusing. So, how could we accelerate in our learning? So, I introduced to you the concept of digital twin. The digital twin, or digital car or vehicle, is a digital copy of your physical car. Nuts and bolts are replaced by data, modeling, collecting all the data. Once you have this kind of digital copy of your car, fed by field data from IoT, fed from your modeling, then you are cutting the distance, the limitation between the end user and your R&D. The product engineering can get the mileage, the data, the fault codes anytime. You cut the distance between the end user and the marketing. The marketer can anytime sit when you are driving and learn how you use it in the field. Financial services can know anytime if the contract has to be renewed and if there is some additional mileage to quote. So anyone in an OEM organization and in an inner circle, including the dealer need proactivity. Sometimes we are working with a truck maker. The quality of the truck is such that even if they have a service contract, the dealer don't know what to say and to call proactively a customer because he don't know the mileage, he don't know the vehicle health, the status, and so on. So if you give him the needs, the possibilities through the digital vehicle to get access to the vehicle health, then he can proactively engage into a relationship with end user. So, digital car, what is a digital engine? Huh? So, you can see this one is not so tuned, can be improved, let's say. So, I saw this morning some car maker engine, their digital engine is better than that. Others, I can testimony, is quite similar to that. Seems like difficult to drive with such an engine in your car. So it means that in terms of organization, a digital car has to have a unified way of getting all the data and bringing this data and this knowledge to all the stakeholders. We said engineering, marketing, financial services, dealers, workshops, and third parties. This engine is very complex to tune. But if you use this data aggregation, if you can set up this kind of model, if you can put on top some machine learning intelligence to learn from all configurations, from all the kind of components that are bringing a view on the car, a unified view, then you start to improve faster. Improving faster, so the ability to tune this engine of your digital car will determine the pace you will have in learning. So let's say that you work with a digital car, with a digital engine that you're tuning. You have to fuel it with the best quality fuel. To share the example, this is one of the dashboards we are doing for fleet management. So cars and trucks have different dashboards. But if you have a fleet manager that is looking at this once a day, then immediately he will know if his business is nominal or not, if he will make money or not, if something is wrong or not on his business. So best quality fuel. If you don't have enough data, then it kills the business. That's obvious. But to make that happen, it's less obvious. For instance, we had a case where we connected a lot of vehicles, and at the time, we discovered that, yes, we had the connectivity, we have the channel up and running, but the data, 30% of the data were coming 4 hours too late. It's not real time. When we want to have a digital growth engine, of course the digital car or vehicle have to be fed with real-time data. The more real-time you will be, the more contextual you will be able to react, the more value-add service you will bring. Real-time is key. Contextual asset is key. So if you want to bring such performance indication for the fleet owner in real time, you need to get fresh data. And to be able to have on less than 2% of the vehicle with less than 30 minutes of delay in the trips in the data, we work for a few months mixing different knowledge. Automotive, CAN bus, embedded, telecom, backend, data analytics, scientists, and combining all these skills to come to a unique objective, have less than 2% trips coming with more than 30-minute delay. How critical it is to have the data. It's not easy to bring. Unqualified data kills the business. That's another way. The same fleet owner, if he comes there and he sees CO2 consumption negative, it happened once. I have a negative CO2 consumption. And we look for all the team to analyze that. And it was someone in a workshop tricking the odometer back. And this is the kind of thing where if you don't anticipate this kind of tricky use case, the fleet manager for which the business is depending on this KPI, then he will not come the second time. So the user experience is very important. The data quality is very important. Too much data can kill the business. It's of course that there is always an ROI to bring the data. You cannot bring all the data if you don't have an ROI. I gave you the example of Michelin. With Michelin on FE fuel, we decided that for driver scoring for a truck, what the importance is about also how to distinguish the quality of a driver from a truck to another one. It depends on the load. Getting the load of a truck is not obvious. So we had to change completely the way to collect the data. We were deeper in the canvas. And then we came with difficulty to manage all the vehicle models. And then we had to increase the cost. Increase the cost of the hardware, increase the cost of the fitment. And there was no more ROI. So just for one single data we wanted to collect more to be more accurate, we killed the business. Another approach we have often is to be open to share the cake. So often I see one example is between a company set up an algorithm to be able to detect when the tire are worn out. He came to the car maker, and the car makers said, so they wanted to set up a business, put the algorithm in the car, and then let the user decide to which workshop you could go to change your tire. But the car maker decided not to go there because for the dealer it was not possible. So it's one example, but there are frequent examples like that. So be open to share the cake. It's better to take a share of a bigger cake. So how to estimate that it's bigger. Another example of cake is blockchain. It's a very, when I talk with a different vehicle maker, blockchain is a paragon of loss of control. They feel, because a blockchain is not centralized, you feel you don't control anything because a dealer that is repairing the car, so you get, or servicing the car, you get an invoice, but it's not you in your dealer network that. Yes, that's true. So you lose control somewhere, but what do you gain? You gain a view on all the maintenance of the car, all the services, and when the car will be renewed, you will be proactively know what to do with a new car. So you have a benefit for that. So data-centric and user-centric, data-driven strategy and user-centric. Think the user experience globally. So recognize the user in all your IT. And I know that some OEMs have managed to have a single authentication system in all the IT. Some others are not run into that. Recognize the user in all the vehicle. We are working with utilities for fuel card in vehicle payments. So you can get the pay at pump fuel. And now we are also working with car maker in integrating that in the car display. It's very important that in terms of digital channel, leverage the strength of having a car as a channel. Omni-channel plus vehicle. It's very important to consider that you have a unique channel that is your head unit displays, your car. You can push to the car, you can get data of the car, and that there is a frictionless between mobile and head unit within the OEM decision. The financial services sometimes go and do things on mobile app because they don't want to care about how difficult it is in the car to integrate that in the car. So it's very important to have a broad view on and a holistic approach of the customer, of the passenger, and consider the car as one channel among others. And measure your performance. So I'm done. So just one question at the end is, when can you say you're truly digital? Do you have already thought about your own answer? I wanted to test, but now I see that there is much more questions online. So maybe for some C-level, it will be to see 20–30% of the revenue coming from services. From end user, it will be about how loyal I become to the brand. How will be my net promoter score as OEM? How I will feel loyal, seeing some unique services really contextually tuned for me, answering a specific concern I have. So I have not the ideal answer. It will be up to you to have your own answer, but really ask yourself what is really meaning digital, being digital.